Welcome to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guest today is Susan Hirschman, author of Does This Make My Assets Look Fat? Okay, a woman's guide defining financial success. Does this make my assets look fat? Well, it's certainly a cute title.
Thank you.
In fact, with the way the market's been going this month, it takes an awful lot to make your assets look fat these days.
It does
for anybody.
For anybody,
man or woman.
Yes.
Okay, so you also have a company called SHE Limited. Your audience is women. You focus on financial literacy of women.
Yes.
Tell me, before we get going, is there something different about financial literacy for women?
No, I mean, the basic advice is the same, right? It's just really giving an outlet for women to have for financial literacy. You know, they don't teach this to you in school.
They don't teach it to men either.
Exactly. And but the interesting thing is that women are starting to control more of the wealth. 60% of the wealth in this country supposedly is starting to be controlled by women. And it's anticipated that it's going to increase 8% per year after that.
Okay.
So because of that, and because they don't teach this to you in school, and because people really don't have a sense of what they should be doing. You know, some people, majority of the people, I just thought it was really important to make sure that people come out of this recession really healthy by understanding what they're doing.
And I agree with everything you said, but I still want to get to this female thing, because I'm very curious about that.
Yes.
Your book is clever.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm going to mention a few things. I mean, what you do is, for women, you relate budgeting, financial control, to weight control. I mean, I think I thought it was cute. You have something called a financial calorie counter. I guess that's the money you spend. And I liked your, I guess to take a good hard look at what you own. I liked your naked in the mirror, look in front of the mirror naked.
Scary.
Wow, it can be very scary.
Yes.
It can be, and if your balance book looks like that, your balance sheet looks like that, it's just good. But I've noticed this about books for financial literacy for women. They have to be a little cutesy-poo. They have to be a little bit like chick lit. Why is that, Susan?
You know what?
I understand it. I think I do, but I have to ask you why.
Yeah, I think it's because it should be that way for men also.
Yeah.
Right? But women are more open to having it a little more cutesy, right? So, and really the concept here is to make it, it's not cutesy, it's really to take something that's very familiar to many women, and so take the unfamiliar, which is investing, and compare it to something that is very familiar, so that is dieting. And so this way, when you're trying to comprehend all the language of investing, it's really well to take a vision.
Yeah, I said, no, now that you say it, I think it's true. After all, naked before the mirror generates an image.
Exactly. And that was my goal, was to build like a visual
And I think
picture.
You use another one that I thought was clever. Portion control. Portion control, I suppose, could be like asset allocation.
Exactly. And the food groups.
What were the food groups again? That was clever.
So the food groups, basically, so if you understand the food groups, you understand that each of the food groups provides you with different things. That's why you need to have some
different kinds of nourishment.
Exactly.
Right.
And so the same thing goes with asset classes. Each asset class, if you just put a food group as an asset class and think of that each asset class provides your portfolio.
Okay, that's a good point. So just like you wouldn't eat only eggs, but I think this expression, you don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
Just like you wouldn't eat only eggs for your diet, you shouldn't hold only one stock and then only the company you work in.
Exactly.
Or have only AT&T bonds or something like that.
Exactly.
They still sell those.
Exactly.
Right.
And you know, another thing is, you know, just to get a sense of why do you need the different asset classes, right? So, for example, you need carbohydrates in your body. Why do we need carbohydrates? We need carbohydrates in our body because we need energy.
Right.
Right. So when you think about if I just replace carbohydrate with the word stock, then I see
stock is energy.
Energy.
Right.
Not this year, but
no.
but in the years past.
Exactly.
Right?
In fact, I wonder how much longer we're going to have to walk in reverse, reverse energy. And I suppose the same thing is true for protein, which is beef.
Yes, and the same thing is true for
You
dairy.
want beef, you could have bonds. Or,
well, bonds I use as
what do you call bonds?
Bonds are dairy because bonds really you build strong bones, right? And so bonds in essence are the bones, the foundation of your portfolio.
Oh, good idea.
And then something interesting when I was thinking about it, and I noticed that when you think about milk, right? There's non-fat, there's fat-free, there's 2%,
1%.
So what all those milks, right? It's just all I'm doing each time is adding a little bit more fat and getting a little bit more flavor. And I just said, oh, isn't that funny? It's just like bonds. If I take U.S. Treasury and say, that's my plainest, right? That's my least caloric.
That's your vanilla.
That's my vanilla. And I just want to add a little bit more fat, right? Then I'll go to municipal bonds, add a little bit more fat, then I'll go to corporate bonds. So relating it to something, again, that you can see, oh, I can understand risk and return by understanding taste and calories.
Yeah, right, exactly. I think too. You use the analogy. You use the example rather of chocolate cake. Mm-hmm. Oh wow, it tastes so good when you're eating it, but that next morning.
Yes.
I suppose that's how you would feel. How one feels when you make an extravagance that you know in your heart you shouldn't do.
Yes. And that's, the goal.
Those Manolo Blahniks, they look so gorgeous, but one wear. And so what?
Exactly. And that's really the goal of the book also, is to get you to focus on goals, right? To be able to say, what is it that I want? To be able to balance my instant gratification versus my long-term goals, my needs versus my wants. And so you need to figure out first, what is it that I need? And do I have the resources to achieve what I need? Then I can have some more fun with the wants.
Let me ask you something. Mm-hmm. You say this is a guide to power minutes. It says, is asset management only for rich people?
Not at all. I mean,
who should read your book? People who are rich?
I call it's anyone who has to save money for retirement.
Wasn't that everybody?
It's everybody. Because the bottom line comes to this, right? Your retirement is a goal. Right. And
when should you start this process, Susan?
I would love to have people start reading this book when they're coming out of college.
Right. So
yes.
When they enter the work world, they should start worrying about their assets. Exactly. They worry about their backside.
Exactly.
The A word.
Exactly. But the key here also is, just like your health, it's never too late.
Right, so you can always start.
You can always start. Just like, and I say to start early because it's just like metabolism, right? When we're early, when we're young, we have a quick metabolism. We don't have to work as hard for success.
We're going to have that little piece of chocolate cake once in a while.
When we're older,
it gets harder and harder.
And the same thing with our portfolio and saving money. It gets harder and harder if we haven't started earlier.
Right.
So it's just making those comparisons in your mind so you can say, you know what, I get this. It's not, I'm trying to take the overwhelming factor away from it.
Well, I think what you're doing here too is you're demystifying it.
Yes.
For some reason, asset management, I mean, I don't know why. You're a woman, I'm a woman. Is something that seems too much of a mystery. I don't know if is it in the DNA of women that they expect to be taken care of? I mean, in the times we live in, we see that ain't altogether true.
Not at all. That plan is, as I like to say, a man is not a financial plan.
No, that's a good point. A man is not a financial plan.
It was a bumper sticker I saw one day, and I wrote it down, and it has stayed with me forever.
That's right. So, and you say women control 60% of the wealth.
Yes.
And women have good careers of their own. They own their own money. What is it that it makes women have such a an undervalue of themselves.
Well, I don't know if it's an undervalue of themselves, or it's really more that the industry itself has been a very male-dominated, and still is.
And still is, right.
To this point, a very male-dominated industry. And even the language of the industry is very male. Like, we use words like alpha, beta,
right.
So it's very male-oriented, and also in the past it was very transactional. So it was very like competitive, like what stock is going to be the best? I'm going to win. I'm going to trade. I'm going to do all this.
Competitive.
Yes, and so now the world has changed, and it's become much more like managed type money, much more goal-based for some people.
And also staying power.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So I think we're starting to get more exposed.
One of the things that, and it doesn't have to be such a mystery, I think one of the things that for men or women is, and I'm not a financial planner, but a very easy way to get going with some of these things, if forgetting the alpha and the beta of the marketplace, one means the natural market and the other one means the effect of whoever's managing your money. I always get them mixed up. Is to do something, you can't make money, is to do something very simple like buying an index fund.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, where since the market seems to have a mind of its own, if you put some of your money in index funds, and you can put a small amount in, can you not?
Yes, you can do some. You know, if it's many times if you're doing a monthly from your checking account, it'd be $25.
I mean, so you know, it doesn't require, and it's not costly.
Nope.
And it doesn't, and it's kind of like it's almost like a maintenance diet.
Exactly.
To use your expression.
Exactly. And you know, in the book, I talk about what type of products, not specific products, but what type of products are best for you. And so if you're a person that really just wants it fast and easy, basically, not to pay attention to a lot of stuff going on, really, you know you can do better, but you just want the easy way out, so to speak, perhaps a balance fund is right for you. But if you're a person that wants really more thought put into your allocation, more thought into the balancing of the products that are chosen, now the industry has created these new products, these asset allocation type products, which have a diversity of managers. It's not only one product. And so they do a lot of things for you now. So it's just really understanding what choices are out there.
But I do think that very important, just like you have to watch what is the cost of only eating a certain diet, is to watch the costs of these things.
Yes.
And to tell you the truth, a lot of the research has shown, has it not, so that sometimes the simplest makes the most money. I'm not so sure that all this sophistication, like different, you know, listen, you can go to the most expensive spa to lose weight. If you come back and you eat the wrong thing, guess what? You gain weight. Your assets look fast again, right? Look fat again, right?
Yes, they do.
Right. Okay, so I think that you have a just like weight maintenance as you get older requires a commitment, so does financial stability.
Yes.
To stay with the product. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for being on the show. I like your book. Does this make my assets look fat? And I would say that I've seen some men lately with pretty big backsides. They could read the book too, right? Yeah. I'm Judith West. You're watching Getting Your Money's Worth. Thanks for watching.